Day 4 Zoomerang science experiment is called blood sample. Okay, now one important thing that I found out the hard way is to make sure that you're using a leak-proof bag or container of some sort for your corn syrup. This is like the plasma of the blood. So we're going to explain to the kids that the corn syrup is the plasma. These bags that I used are called Whirl-Pack bags. I had originally just bought some thicker gauged bags, but the seams leaked. That was a mess. For our younger kids, rather than using the bag, we used a little deli container and just put the corn syrup right in here, and they just made their blood sample into here. Okay, so for this one, we pre-prepped the corn syrup because the thought of each kid pouring their own corn syrup was a little bit scary. We also pre-packaged their cinnamon imperials, which are just like Red Hots, and their sprinkles and baby lima beans, which are platelets and white blood cells. These are your red blood cells. Now, you could simply just put bowls of these things on the table with a scoop and let the kids get out their own if you wanted. Totally up to you. Okay, so what we do now is we're going to open our container. I'm just going to make the one in the sample. I'm not going to make the one in the cup deli container. So I just open my sample. I'm just going to lean it there so that it doesn't fall over. And I'm going to put my sprinkles and my lima beans, which are my platelets and my white blood cells. And you can talk to the kids a little bit about, the purpose of the different kinds of solid particles that are in the blood. The plasma is the liquid. I'm going to go ahead and pre-mix a little bit. You don't have to. They can just dump it straight in, but so then I'm just going to get this all into my bag. If I get this one open. All right, I'm going to pour this all into my bag. And if you do use the Whirl-Pack bags, they're kind of fun because, as the name suggests, you get to whirl them around to shut them. Kids thought that was great. Okay, so I close my bag, and then the kids will just work this around until they get all of the different solid particles evenly mixed in with their blood plasma. And there's their little blood sample. They would mix a little longer than I'm going to, but you get the point. Okay, so that was Day 4 blood sample. Next, on Day 4, we're going to do Let's Get a Lung. Okay, so Day 4, Let's Get a Lung. You want to start saving some bottles, but not regular water bottles. Regular water bottles are fairly flimsy. This one, for instance, is a Powerade bottle. And if you squeeze it, you can see it's not even giving very much, okay? It's pretty stiff. That's what you want for this one. You want to go ahead and cut off the bottom and try to make this a little bit smooth. Don't have a jagged edge because you're going to put a balloon over that and you don't want that to pop. All right, so this one is going to use 2 latex balloons. Again, if you have any children with a latex allergy, be sure to know that ahead of time. Of course, this one will not work without the balloons, so depending on the severity, if you still want to do this, you would have to not have that child in the room. Okay, so one of our balloons, we are just going to feed down into the mouth, the bottom part down into the mouth, and then open up our top and just put it over like this, okay? This is actually a lung inside here. Now this piece is going to be my diaphragm. So to make my diaphragm, I'm going to tie a knot in the bottom Also, I want to make note that we did not have the kids make these. We had these pre-made and had a certain number per table, and the kids could each try them out. They didn't actually have their own. I'm going to cut off like the top quarter of this balloon here, okay? And then I'm going to stretch this balloon with that tied bottom to the outside onto this. Oh. Might take you a time or two. Okay, now before the kids start to play with these, you want to make sure to tell them that when they are holding this, that their hands, their fingers are on the balloon. Because what they're going to do is pull down on this end. And if their fingers aren't on there, they might just pull that bottom balloon back off. Then you got to put it back on. Okay, so inside is the lung. This is the diaphragm. You can tell the kids how their breathing works by when the diaphragm is pulled down, it pulls air into that lung. And the lung empties, and the lung fills up, and the lung empties, and the lung fills up. And they thought that was fun to play with that. So it kind of gives them an idea of how their breathing works. So that is day 4, Boomerang Science.